Welcome back, everybody. We are just about to go live here. And welcome back to Tech Talk by Chris Mizo. If you're unfamiliar with who I am, we talk about PC and tech. Feel free to ask any questions at all if you're thinking. In fact, I got one right behind me. And yes, the Jonah cam is up, just to let you guys know, whoever requested for it. So now it is up and running. Hopefully you can see him. He's kind of chilling back there in the back. And also, if you have any questions at all, feel free to join the Discord channel, which is right here. Also, I know some of you probably have an ASUS ROG Ally already and are probably thinking, is it really worth stepping up to the next ASUS ROG Ally for the Xbox version? A lot of you may feel that the only thing different about it is only the Xbox button on this device, but there's actually quite a few differences. Now, if you go and look at the white version of it, let me see. Let me just pull it up here just to show you guys, because right here. Now, the ergonomics on it is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to share the screen with you guys and explain each one too. And where's a good photo of it? Right here. Kind of want to zoom in on it. So you're going to see two different versions of it. This is on the article by the Gamer here. Now, if you take a look here, there it is. If you take a look here, you're going to see this one, which is going to be just the standard Xbox Ally. And this is going to be the Xbox Ally X. Now, the difference between the two, they both feature new processors in there, new APUs. What's up, Mohammed? They both feature new APUs in there. It's going to be very similar to the Z1 Extreme when it comes to this processor here. I think they're going to call it the AMD 2A, something along those lines, but really it's going to match up a lot to the Z1 Extreme. So if you're thinking of upgrading, it's more than likely not a great idea to go to this one anyway. The only thing that will be different for you is two parts of it. Now, the battery should be a bit more upgraded compared to the original ASUS ROG Ally, which was at 40 watts per hour, compared to a larger battery. I think for this one, it's around 60. Now, I know for the larger one, for the Xbox Ally X, that one's going to feature up to an 80 watt-hour battery, so you're going to have doubled the life. Now, the ergonomics is also something that's going to be very different about the device here, as it gives you more handles, so it actually feels like you're holding a controller instead of holding a round surface. So you have a bit more grip, it'll be a bit more comfortable, but the real question is, how's it going to be when it comes to portability? So those are mainly the two differences that's going to be with the original ROG Ally when it comes to this. Now, with the larger version, if we compare it closer to, say, the ROG Ally X, it's going to have 24 gigabytes of DDR5. Now, it's going to be LPDDR5, so it's not going to be upgradable. You can't just easily swap out the memory in it. So it's going to be practically soldered in there. You can't swap it out unless you want to do some modifications, but not everybody's going to be down for soldering, or nobody likes to touch it. So that's going to be a difference between it. It's also going to be at 8,000 megahertz. The Z2 Extreme is also much more of a larger upgrade. It's going to be a big upgrade from the Z1 Extreme, as it's a whole new generation forward. It's going to step into the whole FSR4 instead of using FSR3. So that means you're going to get more crisp resolutions. When you are gaming, it's not going to be as blurry compared to FSR3. As you know, if you use FSR3 at the maximum settings and everything set on low, it's just going to look really blurry, even though you get some decent frames compared to getting FSR4, where you can get some excellent frames. Plus, the images look a bit more contrasted and looks sharper compared to what FSR3 can give you. So that's the biggest thing about this device, which I personally am excited to see. That and the battery would be great. Now, as you know, the I've also been getting a lot of questions about the OS on it. And the OS is still going to be Windows. That's not going to change. It's not going to be some sort of Xbox interface. It's still going to be practically a handheld PC. So if you're thinking about getting this device, yes, you can do things like you can cloud game off of your Xbox, just like using your Xbox Game Pass. All that's going to be more than likely featured with this Xbox button. It's going to be treated as the guide, as if you usually have a PC and you open up a game, you'll see the Xbox menu. It's going to be more than likely with that. It's also going to be more customized to with Microsoft, with being more gamer friendly. So instead of actually using a desktop UI, you're going to be using it more into like a Steam OS type of interface where you can just select your games, you can get to where you're going to your browser. So it's going to make it less complicated. Yes, you can certainly play Star Citizen. In fact, I've been gaming a lot Vendetta with Expedition 33 recently. It's been great. Doom Dark Ages has also played really great, and this is with the OG ASUS ROG Ally. So just imagine how well this is going to play out, especially for the Z2 Extreme. I expect much more higher performance. I'm hoping for at least like maybe a good 20 to 25% jump if I'm looking at it realistically. But even then, that'll be great, because what I even look forward to the most is the whole FSR4 and how well it will perform compared to its predecessor. Now, I gotta say, for the most part, I gotta congratulate Nintendo for doing great in their sales. They sold 3.5 million units. Now, I'm not a Nintendo fan. I can't say I'm not a Nintendo fan, but I can't say that I agree with their Nintendo Switch 2. They did manage to sell 3.5 million consoles. That's great on their part, but it just seems, I'm just really disappointed in the fact how they keep producing they produce the same product. Not keep producing, because usually they innovate and they come out with something new. As we all know, they came out with Wii, and then you had Nintendo 64 with the analog controller, and you had the Nintendo 3DS, which was something very different. Every device that they created was something very unique. But this time, I gotta say, there was nothing really unique about the Nintendo Switch 2. It was practically the same thing, just with a little bit more upgraded hardware. And you can use the Joy-Con as a mouse. So, but either way, they did great in sales. The only thing I fear is the whole standard when it comes to $80 games. As everybody knows out there, if you haven't seen the whole announcement when it came to Outer Worlds 2, that's going to be practically $80 now. Any game that gets released into the holidays are going to be in that $80 range. Unfortunately, that's when they said that they're going to announce it. Now, let me draw back real quick and go back into the whole ASUS Xbox Ally and the ASUS Xbox Ally X. Now, the pricing, you're probably curious about that. More than likely, I could see just the Xbox Ally, just the standard version being about $700, and then for the Xbox Ally X, more than likely I see it being around $900 to even up to $1,000 at the most. I can't see it being any more than that, but it's going to be around that range. But I can say for certain it's 100% worth it, especially when you take it on the go. And what I do have to say about using a device like the ASUS ROG Ally, it's definitely a game changer if you've never played a portable PC, as I've owned plenty of handhelds in my life. And I usually tend to get tired of playing handhelds, and I get bored with them, and I feel like I can only have them for like a few months, and then I'll end up giving it up. And it just seems like to be that cycle. But for some reason, when having the ASUS ROG Ally, it's a type of a PC handheld to where you just want to have it with you, and on how well it just plays out these titles, you'd be very impressed. And it's just something that you can take full advantage, because not only can you play the PC titles that you want, but you can also play other retro games such as emulators and things like that, which is really nice about the ASUS ROG Ally for the most part. You can also set the different wattage depending on what type of battery usage you would like to get out of. But I do plan on making a video about the whole Steam OS on the ASUS ROG Ally. I'm going to give some pointers about it. If you do own one, I do got to say that there are some great additional features you can add to it. But I can tell you right off the bat, if you do own one and you're thinking of going on Steam OS, it's a great OS to go to. But it's definitely, I would say it's better to go on something like Bakelite. And if you haven't been on Bakelite, it's just as good, or not really even just as good. It's even better than Steam OS if you go on Bakelite, because you have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to installing your different applications, and you could sideload many different types of software that you would like. You have a little bit more freedom on something like Bakelite compared to Steam OS, but they are both great for the system. Now, you do have a little bit more customizability also when it comes to Bakelite, when it comes to kernels, the controls, and it's more customized for the Ally instead of you having to adjust everything with the Steam OS when it comes to your controls, or when it comes to gyroscope, or when it comes to other features that you're looking for, such as like haptic feedback and things of that nature. But if you have any questions about any type of PC builds, or if you have questions about any handhelds when it comes to PC gaming, feel free to chime in and ask. As this is a open forum, you can feel free to ask about any upgrades for your PC, or think about anything when it comes with your PC builds. Also, I do answer on Discord. If you have any questions, typically we'll try to troubleshoot it. Everybody in there works together as the fan bam, and we try to figure out what is going on with your PC if you are running into any type of issues, and hopefully it can be fixed. But I do got to say, there are some very interesting releases that are coming up, since we almost are through the whole GPU phase. NVIDIA's actually not quite done. They still want to release more GPUs. NVIDIA does want to release another GPU. If you guys haven't heard, they are working on a RTX 5050. Now, some of you guys out there might feel like, what the hell? Why another GPU? Why another lower grade GPU? I guess NVIDIA feels that they can create this GPU, and they know that there is a market for NVIDIA, so why not take advantage of it? So NVIDIA is working on a desktop version of a RTX 5050, and one of the questions you might have is it going to be at G7? Will it feature that? And unfortunately, when it comes to the 5050, NVIDIA says, nah, we're not going to go G7. Instead, we're going to go back to G6 because it's going to be cheaper, and it's going to be the most economical GPU that's going to be out there. Now, my question is, how well will it perform when it goes into any type of current PC gaming type of model? More than likely, I would imagine that it's going to be a very small amount of VRAM in there. More than likely, it's probably going to hit about like that 6 gigabyte range, maybe 6 to 8. But for the most part, I can say that I know for sure that they're putting G6 inside of the RTX 5050. It's been spotted in some laptop models that they threw 5050s in there. But then again, laptop models don't really matter as much because the TDP is nowhere near as a desktop is. So NVIDIA is working on that, and they also have their new CPU that's being released, and it's not really a desktop CPU per se. Who knows, maybe NVIDIA will start to compete and want to enter the whole desktop CPU space, but currently it's going to be on devices such as laptops and tablets. And it's called the N1X and the N1. They're both very interesting type of processors. They're SoCs, very similar to what M1 chipsets are when it comes to Apple. Same thing with Snapdragon. It's around that same type of tier, but it's going to be NVIDIA's version. Now, it's integrated with about 120 gigabytes of memory in it. compared to, but they believe that 8 gigabytes is also for the reserve, so really it's about 128. It's up to 20 threads, so they're separating the GPU and the CPU side of it. So it seems that it's going to be a pretty competitive. It doesn't reach, so far they actually did manage to get some sort of Geekbench score off of it. I know it's not the best standard when it comes to testing, but they do have it out there, and it seems that it's pretty close, not really close, but it's more closer to probably like more like a M2, I would think, if you were to compare it with SoCs. And I do got to say, it's going to be quite interesting to see how NVIDIA plays this out. Curious how well and how efficient it's going to be, and I'm also curious how well will it work out when it comes to graphical performance when you do enter some sort of gaming. Now, this is a very good space for NVIDIA to enter. Now, I'm curious how Snapdragon will answer back, because they are also coming out with their version, which will be the second version of Snapdragon Elite processors. So that's also coming out. And I do have to say, too, MSI came out with a very interesting update for the most part. Oh, I just realized that I left you guys in the browser. But I got to say, the more interesting part, too, is that MSI came out with a very interesting update. And I saw this up on Twitter, which is where I wanted to share with you guys here. And it seems that it's supposed to support newer, updated memory when it comes to the motherboard, and also future CPUs that are coming out, which kind of gives you an indication that there will be Zen 6 coming out within the next year. And let me pull it up for you guys so you can take a look at it. It's but it seems that it's going to be very interesting for the most part, and I'm curious to see how well it's going to blend in, because with the 9950 X3D, they saved like a lot of their great silicone chipsets for that. And for them to wait for this generation when it comes, I just have a good feeling it's going to hint on how much it's going to evolve when it comes to AMD. And hopefully it does, because they need to stay competitive, and that's the key when it comes to PC hardware. So this is what I want to show you guys, and it is right here. So if you take a look here, they mentioned that on the AM BIOS right here that they feature, I guess, a P1 1.2.03. Features up to 64 gigabytes of 4D RAM chips, optimized to DPC, and it also has Samsung 4GX8, and also supports future CPUs. I mean, so that gives you a good indication of how that's going to head, and I am curious to see what AMD will have for us in the future. I know AMD is making a large announcement tomorrow. And it's not going to be anything based on the CPU side or anything like that, but this is more going to be towards the whole AI side, because they've been focusing on that a lot recently. And they want to become very competitive. It seems like they're trying to be more competitive when it comes to NVIDIA, when it comes to the whole AI sector. And I wouldn't be surprised if Intel will also try to do something more in the whole AI side of when it comes to PC hardware. So I do want to share this with you guys, everybody who is curious about when it comes to DDR4. Now, I know you guys won't read this, but this is just practically saying that Samsung's DDR4 right now, their DDR4 is practically sold out already, and that it's about 50% off. Not 50% off, but they're adding 50% on top of it because of how high the demand is. So for those who are still on DDR4, unfortunately, it seems that it's just going to get a bit more expensive on that side. And as I mentioned, that they were just trying to deplete a lot of their stock when it comes to Samsung. Same thing. It also mentioned in there that Micron is also charging more for their chipsets because of that too. So if that's the case, if you are on DDR4, make sure to be able to get what you can, because especially if you're already due for an upgrade, go ahead and go out to get it. But for certain, now it seems like DDR5 is the standard, and they practically phased out DDR4 if you're on that chipset. Now, I do have to say too, AONEO. If you haven't heard of them, this is also another handheld PC gaming company. And this PC gaming company here, let me see. I had it right up here. You're going to like what they announced here. Because immediately the first thing I thought when I saw this was, I thought emulation. Because more than likely, I think you guys will probably feel the same exact way. But it's quite impressive, this system. It's called the AONEO Flip 1S DS. Funny that they threw DS in there. Because the reason why, again, it's because it's dual screens. Now, if you take a look at it, it looks something like this. Really sweet looking device. And now you can just fold it up, take it on the go. And the specifications are very nice with it too, as well. And here are the specifications for this device. Again, it seems that we're getting a bit more competitive. And which I just got a topic right on top of my head, but I'm just going to get to that topic right after. But first thing I got to say with AONEO's device here is that it's going to be a 7-inch 1080p display, but this is like a true full 1080p display at 144 hertz, and it's OLED, which is really impressive, up to 800 nits of brightness. Currently, most devices, handheld devices, not phones, but speaking of PC handhelds, usually are around 500 nits. Now, when it comes to secondary screen, it's at 1620 by 1080 at a 3:2 ratio. So almost similar to just like how the 3DS used to be. Remember how the 3DS used to have that wider screen up on the top, or the DS, if you had the DS XL, you had more of the wider screen up on the top, but down on the bottom you had more of a like a 4:3 ratio screen, or but this one's going to be a 3:2 ratio, kind of the same concept. And this also features the Ryzen AI9HX370, has a DLP DDR5X. You're not going to find just standard DDR5 when it comes to PC handhelds. But I'm curious how the future will behold when it comes to Cam 2. See what they can do with it, but I can't really put a lot of hopes in it because again, it is quite a large memory if they decide to go Cam 2. But anyway, M.2 2230, so similar size to a almost like a pocket size M.2. So instead of your standard 2280, which is what you usually install inside of your PC, it's going to be just like about like a third of it. So it's a lot shorter. It's a lot of PC handhelds usually have this. Steam Deck also has the same thing. They also have a 2230 in there. Now it does have a larger, has an air cooling system, has an optical finger mouse, which is a really nice feature, master controller, and it does feature TMR electromagnetic medium joysticks, which is a really nice plus. Hopefully, I really hope when ASUS does come out with this device, they have something of similar magnitude. I don't think anybody appreciates analog joysticks anymore. If they could just swap it out with something similar to electromagnetic or something like of this nature, this would certainly help sell the device as well. Now the triggers are linear Hall effect, so it's similar to what you feel on a DualSense controller on how it responds. It features a vibration motor where it's up to dual axis linear vibration motor, has 6-axis gyroscope, so that's practically when you hold the device, whichever way you tilt it, the device will inform the game, for example, that you are moving the device. So for example, if you're playing a game such as Black Ops 6, or say you're playing the new Black Ops 7, when you are turning with the device, the actual in the actual game, you'll also be moving as well. which is a really nice feature if you're into gyroscoping. It definitely gives a different feel when you are playing in that type of mode. Also, it does feature a full function USB 4 Type-C, which is nice. It has 2 of them, which is a big addition. It also has a micro SD card slot, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. They still grade them. Another nice thing that ASUS still has is the 3.5 millimeter jack. Only makes sense to still have them because, again, Xbox, I know they still use the controller where, let me see, I think my controller's right here. And yeah, so if you look on the bottom of the device, they still feature the 3.5 millimeter jack on a lot of them. I think, in fact, yeah, even this controller has it. Yeah, a lot of controllers will still have that 3.5 millimeter jack. I think, yeah, even DualSense, they also have those 3.5 millimeter jacks. But anyway, they're going to put that on the actual device itself. And they also have a power button integrated with fingerprint recognition, which is something for Windows Hello. If you're not familiar with Windows Hello, they either use facial recognition or they use your fingerprint in order to log into your device. And they also have high-speed Wi-Fi. It doesn't say exactly what the speed is. More than likely, I'm guessing it's going to be Wi-Fi 6E. I'm surprised that Wi-Fi 7 hasn't become more of the standard now, because it does feature Bluetooth 5.3. That's a good indicator that this is still going to be on Wi-Fi 6E. So that's probably why they just put high-speed Wi-Fi instead of the Wi-Fi number. But anyway, they also have their own software management and they have their own operating system. So the ultimate question you may have is, how much is this going to be? How much will this device actually be? Let's find out. I haven't checked the actual price of it, but I'm curious if they do have it. Now, if you're unfamiliar with AYANEO, they've been around for actually a while. They actually were around even before the ASUS ROG Ally. They were actually one of the more original devices. Them and there was another handheld PC company that also had their devices. But you can see it's a little bit more on the pricier side. If you take a look down here, it's going to cost about a little bit over $1,000. It's more about $1,139 for it. Currently, it's unavailable, but this is how the device looks. It's quite a beautiful looking device here, and I mean, it does have a lot of really nice features in there. I mean, just alone, it has an OLED screen. It has that nice portability to it, I gotta say, for the most part. And I bet it's nice and smooth too. I mean, just look at that. I guarantee you, if you're playing Cyberpunk on this compared to the Switch 2, it's going to be a way different experience on something like the AYANEO versus on something like the Switch 2. And I also get a lot of questions about people asking if they should go ahead and upgrade to something like the Switch 2. And my advice to them is, if you have to be into Nintendo games in order to go to Switch 2. You have to really be into it. First part. Second part is that you don't mind spending the $500 for practically the same thing. It's not going to be again, it's sure the hardware is different, but the screen's not going to be any different. And I feel that if Nintendo would have just changed out the screen, I feel like they would have got more sales. They would have definitely got my sale if that was the case, if they swapped out to OLED. OLED is something that is lacking, especially in 2025. That should be more of the standard when it comes to devices. Everything that you have, you're going to look for OLED, especially if, for example, Apple, when they announce their new laptops, more than likely they will later this year, especially now, you're going to expect it to be OLED. It was expected to be OLED last year, didn't happen. They announced it on their iPad devices, but they never announced it on their laptops. So I'm very curious to see if they end up making the move, Apple themselves. But I'm surprised Nintendo didn't go ahead and make the jump, because I would expect, which was the next topic I want to get into, is Steam Deck 2, when they actually start to create their device, which is supposedly rumored within the next year that we're supposed to see a second Steam Deck 2. And when it does come out, I would expect them to have a great visual screen, OLED, and I would expect some wonderful specifications. I would imagine how much of a large improvement it would be from the prior device. I just wonder how different, if they would look different from each other. But there's a lot of different rumors about it. I'm hoping that, I know with PlayStation, they're also coming out with their device, and they're already like leaking stuff out, even though they say that they're leaks, but in reality, I feel like it's forcefully fed leaks, because they're saying things like their device will also have OLED. It's going to be on a 2 nanometer process. It's also going to be it's supposed to be quite the beast from all the specifications, from what it's described as. It's supposed to have PlayStation 5-ish graphics when it comes to their handheld. And we'll see how true it is. But we'll know for sure once they start to actually say things about their device. So it seems like we are highly in the market where it comes to a lot of handheld gaming devices, whether it's coming to ANAO. You have ASUS ROG Ally, which is one of the ones that I'm very excited about and looking forward to by the end of this year. And something I would love to compare with the ASUS ROG Ally. Now, oh, I stepped on the giant cam. Let me turn this on real quick. There we go. And for example, when we have this ASUS ROG Ally, now once you turn it on, it's just like how a Steam Deck is. So it goes right into game just like this. And I gotta say, if you can't wait for a Xbox Ally, and you were planning to get the Xbox standard Ally anyway, I would say just go ahead and just go and get the first ASUS ROG Ally, because I'm telling you, it's going to be practically the same thing. It's just the only difference again is going to be the ergonomics of it, and it's going to be the battery. Those are the two things that will be different between the two. When it comes to the ASUS ROG Ally X, if you compare it to the Xbox Ally X, the major difference between them is going to be actually big, which is going to be their processor. You got the Z1 Extreme versus the Z2 Extreme, which is the next generation. So those two are going to be quite different. They're not going to match up if you're going to try to compare them. And you can definitely expect better numbers, better visuals when it comes to the ASUS ROG Ally 2. And for all those that have Xboxes and are curious about it, if you can play your Xbox games on it, you can in a way. You're not going to be able to play them directly. Like, you can't download them into your device and be able to play them. But what you can do is you can play on the cloud and be able to play them. So you can have them link up to your system. If you have the games installed, you'll be able to play it that way. But if it's but for those who own PCs and has Steam, what's up, Rex? Good to see you. For those who own Steam and has Steam, I gotta say that it's going to be great for you. For example, I download everything onto Steam, and because I do, I can play directly onto my device. For example, I like playing Expedition 33. Is so good on the go. I gotta tell you, it's one of the best games, especially on the go. It's amazing how well it plays. I could get up about between 40 to about like 40 to 50 frames, and that's if I really push the TDP, and I mean push it, like max it out. Now, if I'm trying to save a little bit, if I'm trying to go on 20 watts of TDP, then I end up getting a little bit more on the less side, where I'll run more like around like between 35 to about 35 to 40 then. If you're really trying to save your battery going 10 watts, it's not going to be playable at that point. But I can say this, if you're into playing like retro games, if you're into emulation and things of that nature, it's going to perform very well, and you could expect a longer battery because of it. But again, if anybody has any questions about these devices, please feel free to ask, and I can help you and guide you on exactly how these devices work, especially if you're thinking of going from, if you have an Xbox already and you've been thinking about going to PC, you might as well make the jump. I'll tell you now, because once you go to PC, this is just like the gateway. you can say. Like, if you get this, this is going to be the gateway to go to PC, to be honest. Because once you get this, you're going to want to get everything on Steam. And then there are other launchers out there that are available. You can use launchers like, you can use Origins, or you can use Blizzard.net. You can use their launchers as well. And you won't be limited to just one specific console, so to say. Because now it gives you a little bit more flexibility on what you want to play, and you can load it right into your device. Now, when it comes to the ASUS ROG Ally, I believe for the ROG Ally X, they have up to 1 terabyte of SSD. Now, this device originally, when I first got it, it only had about 512 gigabytes of storage. Not really a problem. I know some of you Xbox guys out there are already like, that's all I had was 512 gigabytes. That's something that Microsoft should have not allowed. Instead, they should have made it more upgradable instead of getting this expansion storage that they threw on there. I don't know whose bright idea was that, but I know it's more for profitability anyway. But I can say it's very easy to upgrade your SSD in this. Again, they use 2230, M.2 2230, so you could easily swap it out. Some people even modify their system to where they put a full 2280 in there, which can be done, but you have to file down some plastics, and you'll have to mess with the integrity of the device a little bit in order for it to be properly fit and be able to close properly, most importantly. Because if this device is not closed properly, then it won't start, and it's not because it's not installed, not only because it's not installed correctly, but it's because there's ground screws in it. So if the ground screws are not sitting all the way down like they're supposed to, that's why it wouldn't start. Also, again, it's really easy to upgrade either SSDs. You can upgrade the joysticks. I just hope ASUS heard us out here. I didn't really get to watch their full launch video on what they featured when it comes to their joysticks, but I gotta say, the biggest thing that is on my wish list for the most part is that they put Hall effect sticks in here. I just hope they don't put analog sticks, because that was the biggest flaw, I gotta say, in the system. That, and it was this SD card slot up here where a lot of people had problems with. I know on the Ally X it wasn't as big as a problem, but on the original Ally, because of this slot, because of how close it was sitting to the heat dissipation, a lot of times it would end up cooking the micro SD card, ending up, and it would end up getting fried to the point to where you would lose all your data in there, and your micro SD card would become unusable at that point. So you couldn't use it anymore after that. And there was a few. I know they had like the recall for it if your Ally was running into that type of issue. But other than that, those were my biggest complaints about it. But overall, when it comes to everything else, it's very comfortable to play on. You can easily play this for hours. I've done it. I played 4 to 5 hours at a time, especially when I'm away. If you're going on a long flight, this is the perfect companion. Only thing I would suggest is if you do end up getting something like the ASUS ROG Ally or any type of PC handheld, just make sure to bring a portable charger with you. If you don't bring a portable charger with you, it will die very quickly unless you're very conservative when it comes to your battery and your TDP. You have to really keep it on the ball. But I can say on the SteamOS, it seems that the battery life is really good on it for the most part. Even like when I really push something like Claire's Expedition 33, I've been getting decent, like about an hour 20 in it, and that's really pushing it. And but if I'm looking to save, I can probably get a little bit more, not much more, but more like an hour 35 maybe an hour 40 at the most, and that's like playing it all the way down. But if you bring it down, if you bring down the settings and you play on something like Steam Cloud, you can certainly play for even longer, as you don't need as much TDP. Because of it, you can run it at 10 TDP, and then you can expect your device to last you as long as up to 4 to 5 hours, which is pretty insane, right? But I gotta say, ASUS ROG Ally is definitely a great handheld PC, and that's something that everybody out there would certainly enjoy. Now, again, if anybody has any questions about the device, now it doesn't have to pertain just to ASUS ROG Ally, but if you have any questions about PC building or any specific upgrades, feel free to ask. I know we're in the right season for it. More than likely, you're probably seeing a lot more availability when it comes to GPUs, which is nice. You're starting to see more RTX 5060s, 5070s, 5080s, even 5090s on the shelves. Same thing when it comes to the RX 9070s, RX 9060s. They're all becoming more on the shelf. And yeah, the funny thing is, one of the things that I realized here was, let me just throw the charger one there. That's another thing I can't wait for, is when it comes to these newer devices that they're going to have dual charging ports on there, which is going to be nice. Again, you'll have two USB-C. You can use one to output a display with it, and the other side you can choose to charge it, or you can use it to use it for some sort of USB-C hub. But you do have a lot of options when it comes to that. But you're starting to see a lot more graphics cards in stock, which is a great thing. So if you're able to get your hands on it, more than likely you're seeing the pricing become a bit more fair. It's not as high as it was originally, because the numbers were ridiculous when they were starting to get in stock. But it seems like it's starting to even out. Used GPU market, it's still a little bit high. So unfortunately, I don't think it's going to change much because of the pricing of GPUs currently. Unfortunately, we wouldn't see like a fluctuation in pricing, not much, probably until the next year, when they start announcing supers and they start announcing different variations. Then we could start to see some sort of price fluctuation for the most part. What's up, Snecker? Good to see you. Yeah, so we're just discussing all about the handhelds right now. It's insane. Nintendo Switch 2 did end up selling 3.5 million devices, and it was funny. I was talking to one of my friends here, and he said that he just went to Best Buy one of the days, and he just went in, and he's not much of a PC gamer or anything like that. He's just like more of like a casual gamer type of guy. So he goes in, and he sees that they have Nintendo Switch 2. He didn't realize he went during the whole Nintendo Switch 2 launch day. He saw people waiting in line for it, but when he walked in, he was like, he was thinking, what the hell? Because they ended up having plenty. They had so many in stock that they fulfilled their quantities that were needed, and he was able to just walk in like during the whole store opening and was able to pick it up right off of the shelf, no problem. And he said that they had plenty. There was no problem getting one. So it seems like there is plenty full of stock. Also, I've been getting emails from Walmart saying that they got plenty more in stock. If you are looking for a Switch 2, usually I advise against it, as you guys know, because I feel that Nintendo, like I said, Nintendo kind of half-assed this whole release of the Nintendo Switch 2. I was hoping for a lot more. I don't know if it was because the leak affected it by much, but it's a shame. I was hoping that I would see something a lot more innovative from them. I know everybody here who are gamers are definitely expecting something that was a little bit more innovative from them, instead of just a new hardware and do what other systems do practically. Just build new hardware, new casing, and that's it. And when I was talking to him too, since he's more of a casual gamer, you would think he would notice more differences. Or maybe he wouldn't, because he is more of a casual gamer. But I asked him, like, what do you feel the differences between the two devices? How do you like it? And he said, honestly, it feels exactly the same. He said the coolest thing that he saw, though, when it came to the Nintendo Switch 2, was he was able to sit it right next to the original Nintendo Switch, and he was able to transfer all his files over, and it did it automatically. But he said, like, when he opened it up, it was practically the same. So it looked exactly the same, but the screen's a little bit bigger. But other than that, that's pretty much it, he said. Of course, it's going to load faster and everything like that, so don't expect much if you do get the Switch 2. Just expect that it's going to be a larger display. You do have more titles that you can
play, such as Cyberpunk, and I don't know if anybody out there saw it, but there is quite a bit of a lag when it comes to games such as Cyberpunk, where not really lag, but I would say more longer latency when it comes to playing those type of games. You'll see quite a bit of blur because of the again, it's not going to be a powerful system. It's practically running NVIDIA's 2060, just customized for Nintendo's needs, and it does have DLSS, and it does. That definitely 100% helps it. If there is no DLSS, it would be worse. But luckily, it does have that and some ray tracing. But again, you do have your limits when you're playing handheld compared to when you dock it. So only Nintendo I had was the first DS Lite, but still works great. Yeah, you know what's funny? I was just shown the AI Neo, and that's the first thing I thought of. I thought, this would be a fun device to mess with. But if you have the original DS, that's dope, because I kind of wish I still had my 3DS, to be honest. I wish I didn't sell it. I had a 3DS where it was the special edition. It was actually the yellow Pikachu special edition 3DS. So I ended up selling it for more than I actually bought it for, which was insane. I ended up selling like for $400. It's probably worth a lot more than that now, I would think. But that device, I did love having 3DS. It was a 3DS XL, I think. I'll show you the picture if I can find it here. Let me look it up, actually. Yeah, they had some great games on there. I just wonder. I'm just curious if the 3D still works on it. Pikachu XL, I think it was. It was this one. Yep, this was it. This was a great device. Let's see how much. Oh, wow. Yeah, they are selling for way more. $695 for it. Yeah, this was the one I had. Same exact one. And it worked great too. Like even before I sold it. I gotta say the battery life was amazing. I do miss. You know what's funny? I noticed throughout all these years, that is one of the things that's really hasn't changed much and really needs to evolve when it comes to battery life on handhelds. They've really got to do something about that. When I was born in 2006, my dad bought the DS. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, the DS, it's an amazing device. You don't even want to know. Like, when I first got my first handheld, it was quite the game changer. And it was actually, like, the first device not really first device, but the really first video game type of console to play. And I was, like, Game Boy, and that was, like, something different. And I do got to say, DS is quite amazing. 3DS is also great. It's pretty crazy, though, to think that everything's now into one console. Now, Nintendo, instead of having two separate consoles, like you were so used to them having, say, back when it was DS, you had the Wii. Now they're all intertwined to one. So it's kind of smart on their side because they don't have to build as much hardware, and they don't have to make as many games. And they don't have to split them. Now they can just easily put them together into one category. But I was hoping. What's up, Aslam? Glad to see you here. And I gotta say, for the most part, I am pretty surprised, though, that, again, Nintendo, I don't know what they were thinking. I wonder if the leaks affected them. Because remember how there was leaks of Switch 2 being released? And I wonder if that made them say, like, oh, let's hurry up and release this device, and let's not experiment too much, because they didn't want too much information to get out. They had all kinds of leaks coming out, which was pretty crazy. But I gotta say, congratulations for Nintendo again, selling for 3.5 million units. That's pretty insane. That was, I think, even like PS5, like they only sold, like, it took them a whole month in order to sell that many. But again, Nintendo did really well on the stock supply. There's no real supply issue compared to, remember how it was like for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, like how bad it was, to where you would have to be lucky to be able to get your hands on one. And it almost seems like it's always like that when it comes to consoles. It's like at least a month or two before things get back to normal. For PS5, it actually took a little while. Yeah, I think it took like about for them to get back to normal, almost like 5-6 months about before anyone could really get their hands on it because of the whole supply issue. And they were having problems because of the shortages, because of that a lot of the factories were closed because of the whole situation that was going on. And they kept closing, opening, closing, and then eventually they were able to get everything back together. And now you got PS5s in stock with no problem. In fact, the PS5 Pro even dropped in price, I think, by $50. But that was a little while ago when they did that. So, again, that anyone thinking of GTA 6, hopefully you have a PS5 ready or a console ready. If you do want to play it, and I just got to ask everybody out there, if you do own a console, are you going to get it for, are you getting it for PS5 or Xbox? And if you are, let me know. I'm curious. And will you also get it for PC? Because I know quite a few people said that they're going to get it for both. And it seems like many people don't mind spending the extra money for something like GTA 6. So would you guys be interested in that? Interested in getting GTA 6 for a console and also for PC as well? That's what piques my curiosity there, for the most part. And let me know what you guys think. Would you get it for console and PC when it comes to GTA 6? I mean, the game does look amazing, though. All the details that they put in there, once again, like when it comes to carbonation of beer, when it comes to pumas walking on the water, and when it comes to, and what I mean by walking on the water, not just the physics of them walking in the water, but their fur of actually getting drenched, like from walking on top of like shallow water. So the bottom of their fur would actually look wet while the rest of their body's dry, compared to where most games, if you see a puma walking in water, it's not going to look very wet. And if the puma is wet, it's going to be fully drenched. So what is the difference between GTA 5 Enhanced and Legacy? My account won't migrate to Enhanced. Now, the difference between GTA 5 Enhanced and Legacy, Enhanced is more of the upgraded version. That's the one where they added the whole, where they added the better graphics practically. It's almost like where they added the whole, almost like the whole RTX effect. Now, when it comes to Legacy, Legacy is more of the original one. That's like the OG type of GTA 5. If it won't let you transfer over, I would highly suggest to contact Rockstar. They're actually pretty good about it. I actually had a problem before with them, where oddly enough, I bought this game, the original game, and luckily I was able to produce a receipt because I bought it from Best Buy and I had the digital receipt, but it disappeared off of my Rockstar launcher. So I'm like, what the hell? I owned the game and now it completely disappeared. So I contacted them, and at first they kind of gave me a little bit of a hard time, but not so much. They asked if I could somehow produce a receipt about it, so I did. I gave them the receipt, and it was like from 2015 or something like that. I gave it to them. They accepted it, and they're like, okay, no problem. We'll just give your account like a couple of minutes. It should be able there to be on there and pop up, and from there I was able to download it. But yeah, I would contact Rockstar if anything. Usually they're pretty good if you got it from the Rockstar launcher. If you didn't, if you got it through, say, Steam, contact Steam maybe. Maybe they're able to help, if anything. And I'm assuming you got it through, but you probably got it through Rockstar, I bet. Because originally when I got it, it was all in disc, funny enough. But then I never really needed the disc again, and I honestly have no idea where my GTA 5 discs are. I think they're somewhere in a shed, I think, inside of a box. And fortunately, a lot of my optical discs are now. So I do got to say, yeah, that seems to be completely disappeared. I know a lot of the guys out there who have optical drives are probably miss that, having the whole library of different games just so you can look at. And the funny thing is that I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but Gears of War, that's also being released on PlayStation. And when it's released on PlayStation, they're actually going to come out with a optical version, a disk drive version. And for Xbox, they're not coming out with one. So I thought that was pretty ironic that they're doing that. Oh, on Epic Games. Okay. Yeah, try it through Epic Games then. I feel like I could see Epic Games willing to help out because I feel that they've been one of those companies where they've been really trying hard to get people to join. And it's because they do have a lot of great offerings at times. Like they offer like I think the other when was that exactly? I think it was like a couple weeks ago. In fact, they offered Dead Island 2. You could download it for free. They do this quite a bit where you can download a lot of free games from them, but a lot of people don't really like dealing with them and having two different launchers. Some people feel it's inconvenient, but yeah, I would contact Epic Games. Usually they're more than willing to help, if anything. I feel that most launchers are. I can't really see any of them giving you an issue. The only one I would see maybe an issue is Ubisoft, because they're, for some reason, I feel like they're more of the ones that don't want to help out anyone. But compared to, but mostly everyone else, they're willing to help you out. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. I feel like Epic Games is pretty decent actually. It's just hard for them to compete to someone on a level of Steam, but I think they appreciate the users that they do have, so that's why they release so many games. And another game that's actually getting released, I don't know if you guys are interested in it. I'm also Stellar Blade is also getting released too on PC. So anybody that has PC and interested in Stellar Blade, it is being released today, and hopefully you get your hands on it. It looks like it's going to be a really good game, and would love to test. Love to test it out to see how well it works. I'll test it out on the AMD build and on also the 5090 build, and we could see where it is. I'm curious how well it would perform on something like the Ally, just to get a good idea. But again, the Ally has been great. Every game I threw at it, it really can play just about every game on it. Again, don't expect miracles. Don't expect it to run at 120 or 144 in 1080p. It's going to run like average between 30 to about 30 to 50, I would say, realistically, on each game, depending on what you put on it. But currently I live on the Eastern time zone, so I'm at right now for me it's just turned 8 o'clock actually. Oh yeah, sorry about that, Snacker. I try to find a sweet spot for everyone to get on, and I feel like there's a lot of guys that get on like around the time I do. Maybe I gotta find a more convenient time for everybody. That's why on Saturdays I try to go on like at 10 in the morning here. So 10 in the morning here, then that means for you it would be around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I would assume. So I would love to do more mornings for sure, 100%. But yeah, maybe I'll try to make some more focus on that if I can. But unfortunately, I do work another job, so that kind of gets in the way of doing more mornings. But I will try. Like when I can, I will go in the mornings for sure. I know on the weekends I get 100% do them. But I do want to try out Stellar Blade, and I know Mind's Eye got released. I don't know if anybody saw that, but it seems like I'm hearing it's quite a disaster from what I see, which is pretty ridiculous. But I'm going to... Oh, the Jonah cam. Hopefully you guys can see him. Let me turn this around. I keep kicking the camera. There you go. I guess it's its location. There you go. Perfect. Can you guys see Jonah okay? No, I guess not. It's still at a weird angle. There you go. He's dead asleep. Alright guys, I'm gonna be right back real quick. Gotta go shut off the stove. I'm actually cooking some broccoli right now. All right, I'm back. Oh, okay. As long as if you're up at that time, but hopefully you guys can see him. I really got to put like some sort of counterweight, but he seems like he's like to move to that new position. But hopefully that excites you guys for the whole ROG Ally Xbox. Well, the ROG. Well, now I'm getting the name all mixed up. The ASUS ROG Xbox Ally, it's called, and the Xbox Ally X. But I am looking forward to that. I'm just I gotta research and see more specifications on it. I'll try to reach out and get more information if I can about it, and I'll probably do that sometime next week. It's already like in the middle of the week already. Went by quick, I gotta say. But I gotta say, I've been hooked on Expedition 33. I really want to get through the game. It's been really good. But also, speaking of which, this is what I was just showing. Speaking of the S's, this is what I wanted to show here. That's pretty wild, right? So you can actually set this up like to be like practically like anything that you want to play. This is also a PC handheld as well. As you can see that they have like Cyberpunk, for example, playing on it. But again, the pricing is up there when it comes to this device. Definitely more of a portable device though. And the pricing right here, again, it's $11.39 is the pricing for it. So it's a bit higher when it comes to it. But this is the ANEO, which is their device. There's another company I gotta share with you guys too when it comes to handhelds. But I gotta say, I'm really curious if Steam Deck 2 is really gonna come out with something. Because the Steam Deck 2, let's see if there is anything. Steam Deck 2. I bet there's not. It's funny because there was so much news on it before. Nah, just silence. Because the funny thing is it was like there were so many different rumors just a year ago, and then all of a sudden it died down. But again, Steam's really good at hiding it. What's up, Peru? Good to see you. Glad to see you join in. I've ordered Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait for you. Yeah. So yeah, I can't wait for you to do that build. I look forward to seeing how it looks all together. You got to make sure to take pictures of all the parts you got, the hardware. What do you use to manage RGB? I use a Signal RGB, but I don't like it. Also, it glitches my Philip Hue lights, and the XT Cam AIO doesn't want to work together with Signal. Oh, okay. Nice. So a GPU also doesn't want to show up on signal. Okay, so you have ASUS ROG SL. Yeah, okay. So when it comes to RGBs on PC, I know it can be difficult to get everything to work together, especially something like that if you had the ASUS ROG GPU. It also seems that your Hue lights aren't working as well. NZXT AIO doesn't work as well. So it seems like it's quite a mix of different devices that are not working together. Have you tried using OpenRGB at all? If OpenRGB is also really good, and it's more of an open source type of program that you can use. And that at first it might be a little bit tricky to use, but you toggle on how many LEDs you have, and from there you could be able to set it. Usually it works pretty well. Just check the compatibility list; they have it, and I do have a video on it. I actually just made one just a couple months ago, I think. But I would check that out for sure. Hopefully the guide is explained well enough. Again, feel free to, if you have any questions at all, feel free to contact me through Discord. I'll try to do my best to try to help you out and get it working. Yeah, yeah, it looks a little bit old, but it's actually up to date. They just updated it, I think, in April, if I'm not mistaken. But it works great. You'll appreciate what it can do. It's very powerful software, but very minimal to your system. I just got one question. Does the 870E would have a 3-pin ARGB for my Corsair AIO? Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Now, for your Corsair AIO, it doesn't require you to plug it into the motherboard. The only thing that will require you to plug into the motherboard is going to be their hub, because Corsair will actually have their own hub. They changed the name so many times, but it's going to be Corsair's hub practically, and you'll plug that into the system. You'll plug your AIO into that hub. You'll also plug in your USB, and you'll plug in your ARGB into that, actually. You don't have to actually physically put a ARGB plug into your ARGB headers on your motherboard, but all you need is USB and just SATA power, and that's it. Your ARGB will connect directly to that hub. The hub is going to be what's going to be packaged with your AIO. So when you open it up, I actually got one right here. Let me see. It's going to look something like this. Yeah, something like this. This is one of Corsair's hubs here. It's going to look like this, the hub. And you see how one side has one power. Now, this one's directly for the fans. This is for the fan version. But what you would see is it would plug into, say, like USB here. And then on the other side, it might be like, say, for your ARGB and your fan header. But you'll see it'll come packaged with your AIO, actually. Oh, that didn't come, really? I have a dark flash cabinet. I have a hub on it. Oh. Yeah, they're supposed to have a hub with it. I'm sure it's supposed to have the hub. Just look in your instruction booklet. It'll tell you every supply that you're supposed to have. Check. It's going to be like the first couple pages, and if you look in there, it's going to tell you exactly what it should come with, or even on the box it might even say it. But just check in the manual though. I know for sure I'll have it in the manual. I have the Nautilus 360 mm. Oh, okay. Let me just double check it real quick. I'll look it up real quick and I'll tell you. RS CPU cooler. Okay, so let's switch over views real quick. More features. So in fact, how about this? I'll check it out for you. That's very interesting. I'm checking out this because usually it might not actually come with the hub on the RS, because it looks like it's directly connecting on the motherboard, if you see here. So usually they'll come with the hub. I know the RS might not actually. So for if it's going to be on if it has ARGB, I'm going to check the guide real quick and see if it does feature. There you go. So this is what it should come with. Does this look right? It looks like it comes with, yep. And does this look right? It comes with your cooler. It comes with your fans. Don't mind the length depending on what it has. I don't know why this one says 360. Oh no, this is 240. Okay, perfect. So these are going to be your plates depending on your type of CPU that you have. And then these are and this also depends on what you're using to lock it in. So it looks like it just has a fan connection. I don't see anything for this. I don't see anything for ARGB wise. For this one, I don't see it. Because if it's ARGB, you'll have a connection for it. This one this one's directly for PWM connection. So PWM, that's all for your fan. All this. Like when you see it slotted like this, you see how it has that slot up there? That's when you know it's for the fan. I have a NZXT Kraken 240 AIO. Can I change the fans? Yes, absolutely. You can change the fans, Snecker. You have an ARGB one. Okay. So if you have an ARGB one and it doesn't come with, I expect it to plug in. It should be only, just like what you said then, it should be only 3 pins. That should just go to your ARGB header. I don't believe they have just like standard RGB headers anymore. Everything should be ARGB. Let me see if I can find find your version, the one with RGB on it. There we go. That's what we want to find. So yours is more like this one, right? So we're gonna go right here just to make sure it has. Let's take a look at the parts. Yep, that's it. Yeah, that one right there, that's it. It's gonna look like that one right there. You see where it says B? Oh wait, ARGB, that just says ARGB fans. But it's gonna look like that. It's gonna look like this, actually. Right, this one right there. Perfect, thanks. And if the fans are not NZ, yes, you can plug them in. Yes, don't worry. Because on the NZXT controller, the fans, they're always going to be the same. They're going to either be 3 or 4, because they're either at PWM or another type. And then you also have, for the ARGB, they're pretty much standard. They're, I wouldn't worry too much about the ARGB side either, because that's going to work with all ARGBs. But yeah, for this, you want to use that one. The one where it looks like long, like claws almost, like those long needles, like you said. You have the 1 pin separates and then the 2. That's the one for ARGB. The one that's for fan, it's gonna have, you won't see any pins exposed at all. But yeah, you guys got the hang of it. So whether you get your fans for your NZXT cooler, any fan will work. There's been plenty of times where I swapped out my fans because I didn't like the look of certain fans, or ones that didn't have ARGBs, and I swapped them out. You certainly can do that. Same thing when it comes with Corsair's ARGB one, since that doesn't come with the actual hub. That'll just plug in directly to the actual motherboard then. So there's nothing to worry about on that side. But yeah, great questions. Yeah, keep them coming. But, oh, there you go. You know what? Let me switch over real quick. And here it is.
This is the one I'm talking about right there where it says 5 volts. That's your ARGB plug right there, actually. And waving hi to O-Dog. But yeah, it'll be like once you get it in there, it's gonna be sweet for sure. You're gonna love it. All right, so I know the controller only has PWM hubs, so I'll plug in the yes. I heard the Corsair only works with yes, typically, but because of this RS, I gotta say, typically with RS, if it's RS, it'll work with the motherboard. If it's not RS, then it's mostly all Corsair hubs. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, with Corsair, if you use like just straight up Corsair ARGBs, they're a bit picky. Exactly. You can't. Corsair has its very own set. They even changed up the link. This because when it comes to Corsairs, like if you get their other fans here, most of their fans has this like they call it a data cable link, and it looks like this. This is how you know it's not going to be compatible with your, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's going to look something like this. And it's just like a straight up wire almost. Let me see if I got one laying around. If I do, I'll show it to you. That's their old style hub, but it's practically like a link. Oop. Yeah, it looks like this. When it's, here it is. So when it's Corsair, it's going to look something like that. So as you can see, you can't just plug this into like a typical ARGB on a motherboard because it's meant for just their hub. But both ends will be like this when you daisy chain your fans, at least. Glad to see you, champ. I do appreciate you lurking. I've sent the picture on Discord. Okay. Taking a look. All right, so PC hardware. I'm going to switch over to Discord, guys, so you guys can take a look. And just give me a moment here. There you go. Perfect. So this is it right here, and yep, and that's it. When you see that cable there, that's definitely for ARGB. So that's it. Now when you see the other ones right there, the one on the left, that's more for a fan. I mean, yeah. I'm looking at that one, the one on the right. Yep. So you got ARGB and the other one's fan. Anytime you see the one with the grooves like this, that's for the fan. Because usually the ARGBs, they don't have the groove on the top of the actual plastic header. Exactly. But yep, exactly. But yeah, you just hook that up, and the nice thing is, I'm kind of surprised Corsair did that because they're pretty strict when it comes to their ecosystem. Usually you have to use their hubs. If not, then it won't work. But that's actually a decent one you got. I'm curious how it turns out. Let me know how it works in iCUE for the most part, because I'm assuming, well, you don't even have to have iCUE. If you are connecting it directly to your motherboard, you can just use your motherboard manufacturer's system if you wanted to, where you can use something like OpenRGB to control it as well. So is there an orientation for the cables? No. Yeah, there's no orientation of the cables. You don't have to worry about that. For the orientation, it's just going to be pretty much standard. It's like one fit, really. And the only thing you would have to worry about more than anything is, more than likely, it's probably going to be put together for the most part as it is. And it's on how you will want the fans to take the air. Would you want them to bring in air into your PC, or do you want them to exhaust air out of your PC? If you're setting the radiator on the top of your PC case, you want to make sure it's exhausting out. If you're putting the radiator in the front of your PC case,
then you want it to bring air into the PC. So you just want to keep that in mind. If they're all together as it is, then you'll know. If you're not sure which direction it is, usually when you look at fans here, here goes a ASUS one here actually. And it's usually when you see the front like this and you're facing it through the front, this is where it's going to bring in the air. When you face it to the back like this, if this is toward the back of the case, for example, just like this will exhaust the air out. So this is how you know. You can look at the plastic groove, and then in the front, you see how it's open. That's going to suck in air, and this will blow out air on the back. And then you can also make sure by, if you look closely at the fan there, you're going to see the different direction. That's the only thing you got to really worry about. Okay, perfect. So you are going to exhaust it out. And okay, yes. And that's what you want to look for. All right, so let me open up Discord. There we go. So this is it right there. No, it's looking good. Yeah, no, it looks right. Yeah, you got all your orientation right. So you're pretty much good. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you got quite the setup there. You don't ever have to worry about your PC getting hot. Yeah, I see it. The 3 bottoms. And this, yep. That's perfect. So you got plenty of, see, that's what you want. You want more air to come in than go out, because you don't want the opposite. If you have too much exhaust, then it's going to create negative pressure inside of your case, and you don't want that to happen. But yeah, so far you got your cooling straight for the most part. But yeah, when you add the fans on the top, it's still going to be even, because again, you still have six fans to bring in air, and then I'm assuming it's a 360, is it? So you'll have up to 4 to exhaust the air. So again, you still are 6 to 4, and you should have no issue there. More than likely, you're good. Yeah, you did a great job there. Can't wait to see what the finished product, for the most part. And you gotta share your temps too. Definitely gotta share your temps. And do you know what game you're gonna play first? I gotta say. This has the B550M and the Ryzen 5 5600 and 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 SSD and 1 hard drive. Perfect. And I see you have a RTX. Is it RTX 3080? This has all my old stuff. Oh, okay. DOTA too all the time. Hey, then nothing wrong with it. It's a great game. Nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I can't wait to see how it turns out, for sure. 4070 Ti Super, nice. Yeah, I was kind of close. A little, just generation off. But yeah, 4070 Ti Super is still a great card, I gotta say. Even if you make the jump, if you decide to go 50 series, which honestly you don't really have to. You really don't have to. You got a 4070. I would say stick with it, the 4070. Because the 50 series, again, it's going to be an improvement for those who are coming from a whole nother generation, not the 40th generation, not 40th, but the 4000 series generation. It won't be worth it for them. 30 series maybe, 20 series definitely you'll see quite the improvement. But I don't know what NVIDIA is doing with these drivers. I gotta say, NVIDIA is killing me. They need to get that together already. We're already in June, and these drivers are still not 100%. Yeah, it's pretty insane, right? When you think about it, these drivers been around for that long, and it's still not fully 100% together yet. But the good thing is, at least it's playable for the most part. I can't wait to download all the upcoming games for the most part. Has anybody here played Mind's Eye? I gotta say, I've seen very interesting videos of it. Can you clone your old SSD to NVMe? Yes, absolutely. I highly recommend using Macrum Reflect. I have a video on it, matter of fact. Get Macrum Reflect, and you can copy it directly. Your Windows and everything. But this is the thing. If you're doing a brand new build like you are, just start a fresh Windows, because it'll be better. It's good to back it up, but it'll be you'll have a much better experience if you start fresh again, to be honest. But you can definitely clone it, unless you're just trying to clone it just for a very specific directory. But yeah, I highly recommend just start fresh. You'll get a much better experience, because the thing is, you don't want corrupted files. Yeah, if you have corrupted files, then you'll get freezes and crashes every once in a while, and you don't want to deal with that. Is it possible to install fresh Windows without a USB? Yeah, if you the only way, let me see. If you do it without a USB, the only way you can do it without a USB. Oh. How about, do you have a micro SD card or a SD card? If you have an SD card, you can do it. How about a external drive? If you get an external drive too, you can do it. Besides a USB, you just have to create its own directory for it. But the thing is, yeah, I would highly suggest one. The good thing is they're not that expensive to get. You could easily get one for you could probably get one for like $5, to be honest. You know what's funny? Just the other week, I had to buy some because I realized that all my USBs disappeared, all my USB drives, or some of them were damaged, so I had to get a fresh set. But it's good to have USB drives for sure. You definitely want to have them handy, especially when you're doing like BIOS flashbacks or anything. You want them. Nice. There you go. Yeah, you gotta. They are lifesavers at times. The worst feeling you get is you're able to fix something, but you just don't have the USB for it. That is the worst feeling. You just need a USB drive, and you're either stuck waiting for it or you have to go out and find one. But highly recommend it. Definitely get a USB drive. And you can even do some pretty dope stuff. You know what I got to do? I got to make a video for you guys too, of dual booting. If you guys are interested in doing that, like if you want to dual boot Linux and you want to dual boot into Windows, because for those who want to try to experiment with it, and you can always also do a virtual machine too. Virtual machine is just like kind of a software where you just open it up and it's just like a virtual computer. So when you open it up, you put your Linux ISO in there, and when you do, it will open it up just like if you were using it as an OS. So you can experience it, but you won't be able to really do too much like gaming or anything like that on a virtual a software. The only way you can really experience like more of the gaming side of it is you would have to dual boot it. But that's something if you guys don't mind experimenting with. You just have to have a reserve. You have to have enough space though when you drive. You just want to have a reserve. It's 1:30 here. Thanks, Chris, for a lot of recommendations. I will certainly post pictures. Appreciate. Yeah, no problem at all. I appreciate your support for coming in. I gotta say, and feel free to share this channel and make sure you don't forget to like and subscribe. But I'm glad you found this information useful. Again, if anybody has any questions at all about their PC builds or any upgrades, feel free to ask. As this is an open forum, I do talk to the chat, obviously. And feel free to talk. Whatever you think or whatever you want to look at. Because I know like when you first build a PC, it can be quite frustrating. Thanks again, Peru. But I know it can be quite frustrating. All right, have a great night. No problem. But I know it can be really frustrating to build a PC, and it can be quite like a puzzle. You just don't know exactly where to begin. And the best place I can say is if you are coming from a console and you're planning to switch over to PC, is you look up your PC game specifications. When you do, then you can get an idea of where to start, and that'll be a good indicator. You don't want to go through minimum requirements. You want to try to go for the best requirements possible. Now, I can't say every game's like that, especially if you're looking at certain titles. Some games are asking for ridiculous amounts of specifications. Before, you only had 2 tiers. When it came to something like this, it would be only the minimum requirement and the recommended requirement. But now you got like 5 different tiers where you got minimum requirements. I can't even tell you all of them. Recommended requirements, best requirements, something like that. But you want to look for the best requirement. And it also depends on the type of resolution you're gaming in. Now, if you're choosing to game in 1080p, you won't really require as much GPU power as you would think you would need. Or if you're gaming in 1440, you might need a little bit more. 4K, whole different ball game. Refresh rates also matter. So there's a lot of things to put into the equation when it comes to a PC build, especially now because of all the different options that there is. Before, it wasn't so complicated. You had a few different tiers. You may have 3 different tiers, and that was it. But now you can easily create about like 6 if you really wanted to. And I'm working on an ultimate GPU buying guide. So if anybody is curious or has any questions at all, you can check it out. Why does ARG SE recommend a GTX 970 for best settings, but mine? Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like they need to update that. ARC is one of those games where they update it, but they never touch the required settings. They really do need to update it. Just like anything else, when you put so much things into a game, you have to be able to, you need to update the specifications, because you don't want to build on a PC where it's not really hitting the requirements as you thought. But yeah, that's definitely a problem. Somebody should 100% complain to ARC for that. And I remember you mentioned this before too, which is pretty funny. You would think it should be able to run it smooth. But yeah, it's all the different advancements that put into it. I'm just curious if it's at the actual game, or if it's just just AMD itself, and which is going to be if there was like ray tracing on or anything like that as well. But it makes me curious too. Makes me want to check out ARC and check it out on the 9070. In fact, what's your average frames? I gotta ask, Snecker. I'm curious. Oh, nothing like coffee in the evening. It's funny, this morning, usually I drink like coffee twice a day, but this morning I was just not craving it. And I just was craving for cold coffee for some reason. Yeah, that's crazy. 9070 XT should be able to run it though. I thought, you know, it's a lot of it has to do with these gaming studios where they produce it very specifically on one type of GPU, which they probably ran it on an NVIDIA card, I bet. If you are with some progress between 60 to 100, depends on the direction I'm. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, that needs to be smoothed out for sure. I gotta say, yeah, it has to do with a lot with their settings. I know AMD recently came out with their update for Windows. I know for sure, and currently I'm still on Bakelite on this PC, and I've been messing with it. I'll try to download Arc just to see how it does. The only thing I gotta do, I do want to stream it, and I can stream it. I just got to get the live chat on that side of the PC, so that way I can be able to communicate to you guys. But it can be done. I run a server with a friend at the same time, so yeah, that could be a little bit taxing. Certainly, for sure. But that's pretty dope, though. You guys have a server together. So, if what I'm going to choose, I'll tell everybody I'm getting an Ally, without a doubt. LSG. I am getting the Ally. And the reason being is because the Switch 2 just doesn't impress me. I'm kind of disappointed in Nintendo when it comes to that side. Usually they're more innovative when it comes to their products. This time wasn't very innovative. It's practically the same Switch, just with better hardware, larger screen, no OLED, and with the Ally, it's a much larger improvement. You have the Z2 Extreme, which is a big leap over the Z1 Extreme, which is the one I currently have. But and it's also going to be more ergonomically comfortable. Battery is about double the size, and I play my Ally all the time, so I could easily play games like Expedition 33 compared to Switch, where you're very limited to their selection, and you still have to pay full price on whatever games that you get. Like Cyberpunk's still $60 on Nintendo Switch, compared to where you can get Cyberpunk for a much better deal on something like the ASUS ROG Ally. With the 3060 Ti, around about 20 to 40 in our base because of some little foundations. Oh, really? That's really interesting. Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, I don't blame you. And I was just telling the story too about about the Switch, and everyone that I know that I spoke to who has the Switch says it's. I think you were just saying the same thing too, like how it's the same thing. It's the same exact machine. It's the only thing that's was really dope. They said was that how it transferred everything from Switch over to Switch 2 like flawlessly, and that was pretty dope. But again, like once it goes on there, it just feels like Switch again. It doesn't feel any different. It's like, you know what it's almost like? Horrible experience. It's almost like when you upgrade your phone. This is, again, very common when it comes to, say, like iPhones, right? You're on the iPhone 14, but then you upgrade to the iPhone 16. That's probably what it feels like. It feels probably something like that, I bet. Because it has better hardware. You could get different software for it, but that's it. But I do feel if I did ever get a Switch 2, it wouldn't be until they release an OLED variant. OLED variant, yeah, I could think about it, but for now, absolutely no interest. I'm not in no rush to play any Nintendo Switch, especially because I already have a backlog as it is, let alone I'm going to create even much bigger of a backlog if I get a Nintendo Switch 2. And I got to know everybody's experience so far about getting Nintendo Switch 2. But so far, from what I hear, everybody feels like it's very mediocre. But I still congratulate Nintendo's for making such great sales. They still ended up selling like 3.5 million units, which is pretty insane, I gotta say, for the most part. So I do congratulate Nintendo on that side. But other than that, that's all I can say. I can't say that I 100% support. I gotta say, Nintendo's been hanging out with Nvidia too long. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, I swear it's like, can you imagine Jensen Huang and both like Nintendo and everything going out and just saying, oh, just, you know, all you have the key to making a great product is just put your brand out there and just sell it as it is, and people will buy it. And I was mentioning this too about the just like how Nvidia is not done with graphics cards, and they are producing another card. I mentioned this a little bit earlier if anybody tuned in or saw that part, but they are coming out with a RTX 5050, and it's going to be a desktop version. They already have a laptop version of it. Now, the difference between the RTX 5050 is between all the other 50 series variants, which is pretty insane. I don't know why NVIDIA chose to do this anyway, but what NVIDIA is going to do is have a RTX 5050 with G6. Makes no sense, right? The only video card with G6, and I bet it's going to be very cheap because they know that people will buy it. Exactly. Snecker says, no Switch for me, need to save up for a better car. Hey, a car is very important. I know, especially in a place like Europe, you need a car. Here's two. It's the same way in the US. You need a car to get everywhere. If only NVIDIA releases that many GPUs. Yeah, it's, well, they have 4? No, if you get, that's just not including the not TIs, but if yeah, the TIs. If you include the TIs, you got the 5050. I wonder if they might have a 5050 Ti. I wouldn't be surprised. Where it would be G7. If they did do that, it would be 5050. I'm not going to count Ti because I know they didn't formally announce it, but 5050, 5060, 5060 Ti, 5070, 5070 Ti, 5080, 5090. That's 7. That's 7 GPUs that they got. And the crazy part is there's going to be more. There's 100% going to be more. We could expect more within the next year, early next year. We'll see the super variants by then. And for anyone that's out there waiting for the next 50 series or the next real gaming card for more VRAM, I would say the 5080 Super. I feel like that's going to be a great card. Now, I can say this. If they come out with 5080 Super, it's going to be probably about $1,500, same price as the original RTX 4090. The good thing is that might affect the market for the used RTX 4090s. So for those who are looking to get a used card, you can probably get one a lot cheaper. And also, what else? They'll have up to 24 gigabytes of G7 compared to 24 gigabytes of G6X. So I'm still trying to get a 5080 close to MSRP. For now, sticking with my X. Hey, that's a great card too. The 7900 XT. Great to hold on to for now. But what's the average you're seeing it around, I gotta say, when it comes to the RTX 5080, out of curiosity? And do you have a Micro Center close to you? Hopefully you do. If you do, then that's your best bet to get like closer to MSRP. You might be lucky. Might be able to get it on something like a Newegg, and every now and then I try to post up whatever I can find, so that way you guys can get it. And for anybody out there who is looking for a pre-built PC, who doesn't want to build a PC, I do have a couple PCs I do have up on the website, and I do ship within the US. I would love to ship across other internationally, but I've seen how shippers or shipping companies take care of these PC boxes. 15, oh wow, that's far. 6 hours away. So your best bet is Newegg then. Definitely Newegg. Unless if you don't mind the drive, like if you're making a day trip and you know they have it, they have to have it available. Like, I wonder if you could even do pickup. You know what? Let's go in Micro Center together real quick. I wonder if you could currently do pickup now. Because for a while you weren't able to do pickup. Let's see. Let's go on together, guys. We'll zoom in. Hopefully you guys can see. Go up here. All right, so let's go look RTX 5080. Yes, I do have the 5090. It's actually right there. I actually just made a video about it recently. I thought there was an issue, but I think it was a whole nother issue actually. Okay, so the cheapest one. Let's go lowest price. Try to get the lowest MSRP possible, if we could find any. The closest one would be PNY's, which is 1300s. Yeah, well, you know what though? It's kind of Micro Center is very slow at building. Micro Center only has what is it? They only have 11, I think, throughout the whole U.S. So it's not many. We only got one in Florida, so I know exactly how you feel. We're lucky to get that one too, because the other before we didn't have this one before August of 2024, you would have to go to Georgia to get it. But yeah, they do have pickup now. That's a good thing. They do have pickup, because before this was not an option. It would be grayed out just like this, no pickup available. But now you can actually go in, select it, and pick it up now. That's convenient. Before that was all grayed out, and it would have been, you would have just have to hope that the card was there, if anything. I'm curious to see if they have any 5090s in stock. We have a bunch of Best Buys, but they have yeah, I hate Best Buy anymore. You know what? One of these days or one of these weekends, we'll all go to Best Buy together, and then we'll take a look at their selection, because it's like at least a year old, which is insane, right? Their selection's like outdated, like a year outdated. Oh, okay. So they have RTX 5090s in stock. Right here. GeForce overclock triple fan. Yep, and pick up. So as long as if you can pick up these cards, then you might be okay to go. But it's such a long drive. I get it though. It just sucks that they don't ship it. That's the only thing. I know some cards they can ship, and it kind of doesn't make sense. I know eventually they will. Oh, they even have an open box unit. That's crazy. 2600 though. Who would take that deal? 2600 on an open box Gigabyte NVIDIA GeForce. I know. And that's all because of the AIB. AIB, and I know it's not really fully the AIB's fault, but it's also NVIDIA. They have such a small profit margin that they have to charge something to make some money at least. Because most AIBs, they say they don't even make that much money off of it. But honestly, it's kind of hard to say, like, how can you not make money off of it if, even say if they bought it at MSRP at like 2,000, right? That's a lot more. That's like another 1,300 on top of it, just to build a shroud with fans in it. And we all know, if you machine these fans, it's not going to cost $1,000 to do it. And then all you have to do is input fans, and fans are not expensive either. They just give it really fancy terms, such as calling it, like, say, a Vortex fan or something, and then they just market it. But it is a bit insane for the most part. Oh, that's a nice build, Snick. That is a sick build. Right there. You know, I always like the Dominators too. There's just something about it. Dominators are nice. And it's all white. I love all white builds too. But that is looking good. But yeah, it's insane, right? Like the pricing on it. Like when it comes to it. You know what? Let's take a look at this just to get a good idea of like what the value is. You see how they got the trade-in? I think the total cost to make a 5090 was $1,100. Oh, really? Thanks. Thinking about changing the AIO fans, exhaust fans, and adding 2 reverse bottom. Ah, that would be sick. You see how they got trade-in and save here? Let's take a look. Let's see how much it would be. Oh, they don't have it. I guess you got to go in there. Discover your... Oh, right here. Discover your trade-in value. There we go. So say we... Oh, you have to schedule it. Find the estimated value. So do you have to bring in your GPU for them to tell you like, hey, this GPU is about this much? I like how you got the white gloves on. Looking at it. It's hilarious. And then let's go back down here. Search by GPU serial number. Someone calling me. Oh. I'll pick up later. Hang on, guys. There we go. Apologize for that. Yeah, you can only trade in GPUs at Micro Center. I know on Newegg you can go on there directly and check it. Let's go on Newegg, right? That's not how I wanted to do it. Let me go here. I want to try to get closer to the screen. Oh, have a great night, Snecker. Yeah, I appreciate you joining in. I do. Let me go here and go like this. And we'll go on Newegg. Yeah, have a great night. Hopefully to see you soon. I'll be streaming again on Saturday, guys. So, but I'll be a lot earlier. I'll be like 10 to 12. Let me see. Liquid cooler, there we go. Perfect. All right, so here I know you can also trade in GPUs. So let's go take a look at that real quick. Here you can actually get an estimated value. So let's look up RTX 5090. I know they definitely got it in stock here. And where is it? Trade in, GPU trade in. Oh, right here. Newegg trade in. So, say you have an NVIDIA card. You have a RTX 4090. I have a Gigabyte, just say. And we'll just say gaming. Fully functional, trade-in model. Damn, that's a lot actually. 1600. That's pretty insane. Now you wonder why the used GPU market's so messed up. That's more than what I paid for when it was new. I know some of you guys probably can't believe your eyes seeing something like that. That's a bit ridiculous, right? Let's just try a 4080. 4080 Super. MSI. RTX 16. $900. That's insane. I gotta say, that's pretty insane. I gotta say, what are your guys' thoughts about that? You can honestly really so I would highly suggest, if anybody has a 4090 already, to get rid of it this year, because next year it's not going to be nearly that much. I highly doubt it, especially when the 5080 Super gets released. That and the 5070 Ti Super, forget about it. That 4090 is going to drop like crazy. But I gotta say, for the most part, yeah, at that point, if you're looking, you might as well buy new at this point, because it's just so imbalanced when it comes to the used market, when it comes to GPUs. You're just not going to get a good deal, unfortunately. It's gonna be a while. Even if Newegg's willing to pay that, that just shows you how imbalanced it is. Yeah, isn't it? That's insane. Quick question, everybody. How much do you think GameStop would give you for an RTX 4090? I think they do trade-ins, right? GameStop. I think they do GPUs, right? Oh, they don't. I thought they did. I think they were doing it. I agree. I agree. I go on GameStop to put 5090 in, and you know what comes up? You guys will laugh. This is what comes up on GameStop's website when I put 5090. They have an i7 12700F with the RTX 3060 for 500 gigabytes, 1 terabyte drive, all for a wonderful $1,250. What do you think about that? Honestly, you could do a much better build and have a much newer PC. Even though it looks like a good deal, looks like a decent deal, but honestly, you could do so much better. You really could. Especially from iBuyPower, yeah. You could definitely do much better. But I like how they said Windows 11 Home Advanced. They add advanced in there to make it sound like it's something. Never heard that before. But I do appreciate everybody that's come out on the stream. And I will be streaming again this upcoming Saturday from 10 a.m. Eastern to 12 p.m. Eastern. They want to give you 160 for a used PS5 Pro. I want to trust them. Yeah, I would not trust them either. Not at all. But again, I appreciate everybody for coming out, and thank you everyone for watching the stream. I will be once again here on Saturday between 10 a.m. Eastern to 12 p.m. Eastern. I will also be streaming some games as well. Maybe not at that particular time, but later that day. And we will do some more tech talk and more PC build questions. Anything else, we will certainly do. Pretty soon we will do another PC build, which I will definitely keep you guys up to date. And I gotta say good night to everybody, or good evening to everyone. Not good evening, good morning to everyone, depending on where you're at in the world. Thanks again so much for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. Love all the fam bam. And make sure to join the Discord channel if you guys haven't already, which is going to be here. But there is going to be so much more, and I can't wait to share with you guys. Good night, everyone, and take care.